All right, here we go. All right, welcome,
We are
everyone. This is Ready, Set, Reiki Live, and I am your guide, Tracy C. Wright. And today, joining me is
Dina Fortune of Soli Dina.
So, what is happening? What is going on? Ready, Set, Reiki is live. Well, this has been something that I wanted to do for a while, and it is the invitation this evening of the color of grief. So, both Dina and I have been on this journey, and we're in different parts of our journey together, but we know this feeling of grief too well. So, we wanted to collaborate and have a evening where we could do a little meditation, her do a little bit of channeling, and to talk about our experiences. So I'll begin first. So the color of grief. What does this mean? Well, when I think of the color of my grief, I often think of Pigpen from Peanuts as you're walking and the dust storm is around you. And everywhere I seemed to have moved, it was carrying the grief along with me, even to the point that my daughter had said, "You're wallowing in this grief." My husband even commented, "Wow, this is taking you so much longer to get through this." And so I was really surprised by the experience of this is, wow, this has really overtaken me. And it has been a 4-year journey on how to navigate through this in the best way possible. Now, there are moments in my life as I've gathered these energetic tools to help me that I'll have a moment of, it'll overwhelm me. But I have those tools to bring in to kind of bring me back. My sister was a big shopper. She was a collector. We'll color it as a collector. And especially like the holidays, she just loved to shop all year round. And even walking into a store and seeing something and having that impulse to text her or to let her know or to share a picture, that can take you back. And sometimes you feel all that work you've done just kicks you back to the beginning. But if you take a moment and use these tools to help guide you through this, you're able to slowly begin to add a different shade in the color. So, beginning with that pig pen color there of dust and yuck, through this time, I have begun to change the color of my grief. One of the tools that helped me was Meditations to Heal a Wounded Heart by my friend Harriet Knight. So, she has a beautiful meditations that I would listen to. And it was something that, she had done years ago. And when she met me, she had said, "I have something for you to help you." And this was a very valuable tool in my toolbox there to help get me through those moments where I needed a little bit of extra support with that. But know that there's resources out there and tools out there to help you get through it. Are you going to have perfect days? Of course you will. Are you going to have sad days? Yes. But how can you navigate in a way where you're not feeling guilty, right? You're not feeling overwhelmed. You're not feeling frustrated. There were times that I felt sad, especially like on a birthday, when my sister passed. These were birthdays. I was an older sister. So, these are birthdays that Angel would never celebrate. So, me getting that cake and blowing out that birthday candle, that's a gift for me, but something that she would not have experienced because she had died at 43. So this is hopefully can give you some tools, some things to do, and tell you about my experience. And I'm going to pass it over to Dina, who's going to share her journey in loss.
So thank you. And so my mother crossed over back in April, and it was actually 6-month anniversary on the 24th. And so it's been like really surreal because even the day after my mom crossed over, now I was in a car and I was already talking to her, and I was like, wow, mom, I am a channel and a medium already. Now you can paint through me. And how great is that? And so, I mean, I always had my belief about death and like that we're never really gone. We're just in another form. And because I really felt like my mom, like she'd been really, it was her time, you know. I mean, she was 80, and it was like, as much as I wanted her to be around for longer, I could tell like it wasn't a quality of life that she wanted. And so making peace, like I really was making peace with her leaving her body for 19 years, like just it was kind of something that we talked about a lot. So and in the process, I had been sharing things with her. I learned about Reiki. I was on my own spiritual journey. And so now I feel in a way closer to her because I've been able to call her in to do artwork with me, and I talk to her and I sing to her, and I feel like somehow she's still with me, and it's still surreal sometimes because I'm like, should I still be this happy? Like, shouldn't I be more sad all the time? Like, and so like there's been a lot of like judgment that I've had to get over in the process. And so it's like, well, everybody grieves differently. And so all of this process of moving through, and then finally I got sick, and I was sick for 3 weeks, and it was like, okay, you really gotta just really like feel the feels. And so now in the middle of that, we started having this conversation about doing this live. So because I can't, you know, making it less awkward to talk about, because you know I was feeling a little awkward, like, can I really share about like how my grief journey has been actually filled with a lot of joy and bliss and magic? And yes, I still miss my mom. So I wanted to share that because I feel like all things exist at the same time.
Right. How beautiful is that? I mean, it is
Yeah.
certainly a journey, going through this. I mean, you had no matter if you have that preparation or it suddenly knocks down your door, I don't think you ever truly feel ready for it. Um, Several months after my sister passed, well, actually, she passed in January, and our father ended up going into the hospital Christmas Eve. And that following year, he died, and he was in hospice. So it was a long, we had months, but still wasn't ready for that. But certainly, grieving him was very different than losing Angel for sure, because I had those energetic tools to kind of navigate through that. One of the things interesting, my background is Reiki, Ready Set Reiki. Uh, I had, brought this modality in when he was in the ICU, when he was struggling. And I would come in and I would Reiki everything, right? The IV, the medicine, the staff, whatever, blankets all over. And the one day I came in and, prepared for, highest good, all these things, and kind of a little bit of what we wanted as a family for him. And I had said, Dad, how are you feeling? And he said, just kill me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like he was done. He wanted to be with my sister, right? And it was in that moment of,
Mm,
okay, well, we need to change this intention for the Reiki to him transitioning and healing that part
mm,
of me that wasn't ready to let him go, right? Because we just had all this loss. And then now he's ready to go. And that was his journey. And just switching gears there and saying, well, that's his highest good. He's ready. And even though, he did pass, it's a big loss. Losing a parent is a huge loss, and the sibling, it's just a different type of loss. I can't explain it. And especially when it's a younger sibling too, right? Because you have
yeah.
all that guilt. My father had, after me, my parents had a baby boy that passed. So my father actually lost two children. So I'm the only
Oh,
surviving
wow.
child. So that made me think, well, wow, like I got to live, but these two didn't. And after my father passed, I had a friend who's a psychic, and she tapped into my dad, and no information about this brother that I had. He was born. We call it asleep. He was born asleep, and she had said, your dad got to meet your brother in heaven, and he, got to
Oh,
meet and connect with that soul. And I was like, oh my goodness, right? you know, so
wow.
different pieces. And sometimes when you don't believe and like, oh, that's hogwash. But when it's so,
Right.
they say like the brother and this, and like, how do you know that? Right. So carrying different things like
That
that, where you have, family secrets or things going on in the family, and why did I live and she didn't, and I was able to have a family, she didn't. I not only got married once, I got married twice, and she didn't get married at all, right? And all that guilt comes into place with that too, and healing on my healing journey as well.
Wow. I'm trying to find this so I can share on my Facebook while I'm
Yeah.
listening to you, and I couldn't figure it out.
Very good. It's all your
But I
multitasking.
see someone's here. I
Very
know. I'm listening and I'm looking at the same time. I'm like, you know what? I'm letting it go.
right. For those of you
Because
who
I'm
just
not
caught
that
me
good
on,
of a
Dina
multitasker.
is an artiste, an artist extraordinaire, who channels and light language and makes these beautiful pictures and artwork. And she has puts her artwork like on a shower curtain now. It's on a yoga mat, so you're able to decorate your home, right? And have it on the yoga mat and take it
Yeah.
into the studio.
Yep, I know. I'm so excited about that. I've been really playing with that and infusing intentions and creating new designs. And one of all the friends that bought the yoga mat that have my light language in it all told me that they feel it.
Wonderful.
And so I'm like, that's so amazing. And as I was just like, when you and I were starting, I started to um, bring this through. And it's just really just expansion. It's like as we like let go, we can expand and open up to receive more and receive the connection in a new way. Because like I feel like you and I have that similar experience of like that their transition created like a catalyst of healing, and thank you. And because I guess I was already painting and I was always creating, and my mom was always such a supporter of my art, even the ones that she liked a lot of my light code art, and she didn't understand the whole light code thing, but something within her resonated with it, right? And so, but my mom, she really supported me with my art and my jewelry, and she would wear my jewelry, and she would have jewelry parties and invite her friends over. So my mom was like my biggest supporter. What was that?
You're good.
Yeah. Okay. Or something. That was interesting. And yeah, actually, it does really help me to draw or do the artwork while I'm on the phone with someone. There's something about it that, like, for other people, it might look rude. Like, why is she drawing while she's talking? But I'm like, this. It helps me. It helps me focus, actually, to keep my hands busy while I'm listening. And anyway, so you see, so I get distracted when I'm just talking and I'm not doing something with my hands. And but my mom, she took me to Italy. I got to go to Italy and live there for a year. She came out. We had some really amazing memories, and I recently started doing art where I called her energy in, and the art is so different. And, my mom actually was very talented as an artist. And funny enough, her painting that she did were like, people were like, oh my God, that's so amazing. Did you do that? I'm like, no, my mom did it. And so my mom was very talented. She didn't express art and painting and when she like towards like the last year, she signed up for a watercolor class,
Mm,
and I got her a coloring book, and she started doing stuff with it, and she really wanted to start painting again, and she just never got to it again. And so now I'm like, oh mom, you know what, let's do it together. So, because I was channeling dragons and angels, why not channel my mom and invite her to paint with me? And it's been really interesting. And
mhm,
it's actually made me want to show others how artwork can be such a healing way of connecting with their loved one, or even if they're not connecting with their loved one, connecting with their feelings and emotions, and to be able to process so they can release and acknowledge how they feel. And but art has been such a healing tool for me even before my mom transitioned.
mhm. Yeah, and that's
And
just
yeah,
amazing.
so now
Yeah.
you, yeah, and like, so if you go to Fine Art America and you put like my name, Dina Ziskin Fortune, with no dash in between the Ziskin and Fortune, and you like pick on what you look at one of my paintings and you scroll down, you click on it, like it can be done on a journal, coffee mugs, yoga mat, like you said, shower curtain, duvet. Like there's so many options. A t-shirt. Anyway, I also have a website where I have artwork that's made into clothes that can be
Mm,
purchased, so you can wear
love it.
my artwork that has light codes on it. But I haven't really been promoting that really. So
It will happen, it will happen. You know how it is
I
with
have.
all.
It's
Yeah.
there. It's just I want to do some new designs, and I love Tanya's comments here. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And, and so I, have a little bit of that ADD like stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to say all these things.
Yeah, but it even, with art as well, like the writing, it's been a really wonderful collaboration, with my sister. It bridged the gap between earth and heaven there, where, I'll get a download or something. And even like there was something on my website I was editing and I heard her say, no, no, put my picture on there. Out
I
of
love that. I
bits
love
and
that.
pieces. Yeah, so she's, when my do my work and writing and things like that, she's there, and that was how she was in life, like, "Nope, you're gonna I'm here, put it in there."
I love that. And I
Yeah,
love that they can support us from beyond,
yeah, yeah.
and that it's just a different way. And there's sometimes like I'll feel like a heat, I'll feel like a heat, and like sometimes like the wildest things would happen, like especially like I would know that it was my mom. Like something happened the other day that was like, oh my God, it was so my mom. Like,
Aw,
and can I share that
of
quickly? It
course.
was so funny. Um, and oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Shower curtain. Yeah, there's so many. I have so many designs. And by the way, Tanya, I also do custom work. So, and that's something that I want to like burgeon into, of like doing a custom painting for someone and then that painting can be turned into a shower curtain or whatever they want to use it for. So they have more options than what's available on my website. And but what I was gonna say was, so my mom had this neighbor. So we were always I've been going to my mom's condo since she moved there, and it's in White Plains. And so she had this new neighbor of like 6 months, and this neighbor came over to my mom and her became friends in those 6 months. And so I got to meet this neighbor at the sitting Shiva, and she had asked us if we could give her something of my mom's that, she really, really loved my mom, and with like a memorabilia. So my sister and I picked out a necklace from one of the necklaces that I made for my mom. And we both agreed. I picked it intuitively and then picked a couple of choices, and my sister agreed with the one that I knew it was. Okay. So I kept bringing that necklace down, and I would never see the neighbor. So I was there this Saturday. My sister wasn't able to come with me because she hurt her back or something. She just couldn't come with that. And I was like, okay. So it was me and the organizer. So I intuitively threw the necklace in my purse just in case I were to see the friend. I get down there doing all the stuff with packing up my car with all this stuff to bring home. And all of a sudden she shows up. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, let me rewind. I left my sister's, and it was like a 20-minute drive, and I had like 18 minutes to like maybe get coffee down the street. And I'm like, what do I do? Do I go straight to my mom's house, or do I go get the coffee? And I'm like, okay, go straight to mom's. And I get, maybe, wouldn't it be nice if one of our neighbors brings me coffee? Just, would it be nice? Wouldn't it be funny? Okay, maybe. So I'm like, all right, let's play this game, right? So I get there, I go in, da 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 da. Hours later, the neighbor shows up. Hi. And so I'm like, oh my God, I have this necklace for you from my mom. And she's like, oh my God, I love it. And da da da. It was perfect. She loved it. It was like, yay. And divinely aligned. And then she leaves, and I keep going. And she comes back, and she's like, oh, you're working hard. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and I haven't even had coffee yet. So now, mind you, it's like 1:00 in the afternoon. Okay. And I've been doing all this stuff with no coffee, and I'm kind of a coffee addict. So she's like, oh, you want some coffee? And I was like, yes. And she brings me coffee, and she gives me this whole story about this coffee. She doesn't normally buy it. She only has one left. And and we're sitting there like, oh my God, mom totally orchestrated this.
Yeah.
And we just got to have that moment. And there's two swans that are still there that my mom had outside of her house. These two like ceramic whatever swans. And so we just sat there and had this nice moment, and I got to have my iced coffee, and I just thought, thanks, mom. Like, it's like it just was. And she's like, yeah, your mom totally orchestrated this. And I was so glad that she felt that way too, because it was like, okay, I'm not the only one who thinks like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that was my long-winded story, but yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing what they can do from beyond, right? Even
it is.
Still taking care of you.
Yeah, she's taking care of me from beyond. And I was so happy that the neighbor friend loved the necklace. It was like, I made so many necklaces for my mom that I don't know what to do with. I'm like, I don't want to wear them all. I don't know that I want to take them apart. I don't know what to do with them. I'm like, oh my God.
Sounds like an art project.
Yeah, maybe I'll like undo them, cleanse them, clear them,
Yeah.
make them
Yeah.
into new jewelry, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Well, here's an interesting question for you. So, as the artist background that you have, Picasso had his seasons, his red and blue. After the loss of your mother, did you notice a change in the choice of your colors that you were bringing into your canvases? Did it change?
Yeah, actually, they did start to change. They started to get a lot lighter, a lot more pink and gold,
Mhm.
um, and a lot more open, like less, like a lot more like space, like
Mhm.
even not even just the color, like this, like just the way that this is
Yeah.
different.
Okay. Yeah.
And uh, so a lot, like it's even in the way that I draw is different. Not even just the colors, but the the frequency of the color.
Mm,
It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like the pinks are softer. The
okay.
blues are softer. It's more like otherworldly,
Yeah.
but a different world.
Right. Right. Now, have you compared, say, a
Yeah.
canvas to you've done after your mother's passing versus one maybe a few years ago? Are you seeing a shift and change in how you're creating?
I'm, um, I, I'm like, I'm like, now that you're asking me this,
You're thinking
I'm like
backwards.
looking around my studio, like there's something more, um, brighter,
Mhm.
less clutter,
Mm,
more smooth. Like the way that I'm painting is different.
right.
And I wish that I had something here. I think okay, let me actually I'm gonna show you if it's okay. Like there, yeah, so I'm looking and there's a little bit of less color, like more monochromatic,
Mhm.
less colors, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like where
Yeah.
like I would work with like 8 colors in
Yeah.
one painting and now
Yeah.
it's more like 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking of like, how you go
And
into
I'm
like
like,
the Van Gogh exhibit, and you see his different little periods of time where he had his focus of awareness in it. Do you feel like that has shifted since the passing of your mother,
I feel like I want to be even more intentional with my art and where I have like more like series where I have more specific intention in the art, but also more like letting go and trying new things. Like it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I need to like break out of what I'm doing and trying new things. Like she would be like, try something new, take a class. Like she actually was trying to encourage me to take a class to learn new techniques. And I just haven't done it yet. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, what do we like? I can work with gold foil. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to learn how to do encaustic. Like now I'm like, okay, what do you want to like? Now I'm more open to hearing her suggestions.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, mom, like let me just do my myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't like, kind of like thanks for the advice, mom, but no thanks. Like admittedly, like I wasn't receptive to, you know, she's like, some of her advice, I was like, and now I'm more like, okay, mom, like if you're seeing me now through this different lens, I'm more like, I'm more
Right.
open.
Right. 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 So that's what I mean. Color your grief. What would you say the color of your grief would be? Mine, of course, was that pig pen color, and then it's slowly turning into that green color. And sometimes it'll go back to that little cloud of kind of chaos, but reeling it back in to bring more green into it.
I feel like I keep getting like pink,
Oh, very good. That's
like
another heart chakra. Yeah.
pink, yeah, pink and gold, and green. Uh, and I'm just like looking around, like purple. Really just kind of shift. And I love blue, and she loved blue. So it's like really interesting because I was like, what is me and what is her?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is me and what is
Right,
her?
right. And I'll pick colors that
You know?
like Angel would like that I did because I like blue. She liked pink. She liked the bright colors. And I'm like, what's this happening? But it just sounds like from both our journey that what helped both of us is by creating something, either collaborating with them or doing something in honor of them or in their memory, by creating Feather Sister and writing the articles and doing things and even just mentioning her name out into the universe, right? And then as you're creating, and then, oh, I'm going to explore taking a new class because my mom mentioned it, right? And even sharing your story about the coffee, right? So she's Facebook famous.
Yeah, it keeps them like alive, and I really feel like there's a way that we can still connect with them where they're still alive in our heart, and that we can still connect with them, and they want us to be happy and live
Mhm.
life and enjoy life. And I will tell you that there's a song that came on that okay, so I had this art show that my friend Julie curated that happened to open after, like, months after my mom's crossing, and I went there to the art opening by myself, not even with my husband, just by myself. And this song came on, and this song is called Water.
Mm,
And in the song, there's this lyric. There's these two lyrics. Like the lyrics of the song so spoke to me. I knew it was like my mom, but it wouldn't be music that my mom would listen to. It's totally music that I would listen to. And there was two things: death is for the living, death is for the dying, and
mm,
life is for the living. And that was part of the chorus. And I was like, huh. And then the other part of the song was, if I'm going to believe in something, I'm going to believe in me.
mm.
And those were two core lyrics in that song. And it was like, just what I needed to hear. Like, live your life, Dina. Like, live your life. Just live the F out of your life. And believe in yourself, for the love of God. And so that song came on the way to that opening, and I like that, like, on my playlist, like, and I always feel so, yeah, connected with her through music, and she'd send me other songs like through Magical Miss. And do you get that? Do you ever get like music where like you feel like it came from Angel? Does she ever send
I
you
get music
messages through
from my
music?
dad. Yeah, I get music from my dad, and Angel would come in dreams. When she was
Oh,
here,
interesting.
yeah, I would color her a very devout Catholic. I mean, she was just, you had me that was the bad sister, the bad child, and then you have her that did all the good things. Never missed church. She took care of the parents. I went off and did my own thing, and was the rebel a little bit, and but she had dreams, and I recall when, oh gosh, she probably had to be about maybe 9. I'm probably getting the age wrong, but she had a dream that her, because we were half sisters, we had the same dad, we had different moms. She had a dream that her cousin died in a swimming pool. And a couple days later, he drowned in the river in Pittsburgh, in the Monongahela River. And so she was intuitive a little bit, but she had that strong faith that that was no, we don't go to psychics, we don't do card readings. And so I knew she passed before I got the phone call. Like she came that morning in a dream,
Mm,
out of breath in the dream. She hands me this piece of paper.
wow.
Like she was just, this is for the kids. And we had this little snarky banner back and forth. And I grabbed the paper and I looked at it. Still don't know what's on the paper today. I said, yeah, right. The only way that would happen is if you died. My dog barked. I jumped away and I said, oh my God, she died. And, the logical mind, this is crazy, that she's fine. She had gone into the hospital with some flu like symptoms. Her last words to me were no worries, because I thought, she said, I'm in the hospital. I'm at Mercy Hospital. I'm like, who is, your aunt okay? Nope. Is dad okay? Yeah, he's fine. It's me. So I was calling, texting, checking Facebook. And of course, an hour later, got that message. I couldn't even pick up the phone. Like I just let it go to voicemail. And then I called my dad back. But that happened then. And then about a week after she was laid to rest, I had a dream that I came down the basement steps. We have a level floor basement. And I look out the window and I see her and she's waving out the window and I get really excited and I run towards the window and she goes like this, blows me a kiss, and she disappeared. And it was quite a long time before she came again in the dream. But every night before I went to bed, I would just pray, God, please let her come in the dream. Please let her come visit me. Please let me see her. And I was so desperate for that connection. And she came to visit me a couple months ago. And when she, was here on earth, she was very critical of how she looked. She wasn't the weight she wanted to be. She wasn't the height she wanted to be. And she'd make these comments like, oh goodness, when I pass over, I'm going to be stuck in this body for eternity. And so, in this dream, I went through these open doors, and she comes walking. She was super tall, super skinny, and her hair in life was very, very long. When we grew up, we kind of liked the singer Crystal Gale, who had really long hair, and we were like, oh my
Mm.
goodness. So she always wanted that long hair. And her hair was super short. She would never do that. It was like an a bob haircut, and she had um, this kind of overall set on, a little jumper on, and she just said, "Hey, I'm doing so much here." And it was almost telepathically. I said to her, "Look at you! Like you're so different." And the answer came back, "That's what we can do here." And she said, "I just want to let you know you're not going to see and hear me for a while. I have other things to do, but I wanted to tell you I still love you." And so that's what she said. So she checks in every now.
Um,
So every now and then, my dad will have magical things happen too. Like I was sitting, because he was a big coin collector. He loved to collect rare bills and coins. And I was sitting here in my backyard in El Paso. We have these tall, like 5-foot brick walls everywhere. And these winds happened, and I was just sitting there with the dogs outside, and a paper $1 bill falls into the yard, and I pick it up, and it had in the serial number at the bottom 12, and his birthday is November 12th. So I'm like, it's from him. So different signs
I
that,
love
and certain songs too that we played when he was in hospice. So he liked a lot of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So when, oh, what a
Oh
night.
my God. My mom did something with music-wise really interesting, that reminds me of this, like, Mike and I were driving down. My mom loved Fred Astaire, Frank Sinatra,
Yeah, yeah.
both. God, which one? Who's the one that sang "I'll Do It My Way, My
Frank, yeah,
Way"? I'll
yeah.
do it
Frank
my way. Okay. So my husband and I just want to let you know, Tanya, I am seeing your comments. Are you seeing them too? Thank
a
you for
little bit, yeah.
engaging. Yeah. I just wanted to say, she said, I talk to people at work and they would say things, or I would have the same conversation with them I remember having before. I never seen this person before in my life, but I would have a dream first. Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah,
your dad's nurse. Wow. My sister wound up doing a lot more of like the caretaking, caregiver work, not me. But so I had a different relationship situation with my mom than, of course, my sister. But when my sister, my husband and I were on the way down from my mom's service, I was on my phone. Something happened on my phone that made us get this song from Frank Sinatra on playing on the phone. And it was like really weird because I don't listen to that kind of music.
yeah,
And it was just this, like, all of a sudden, this song, I Did It My Way, was playing on our car. And it was like like something came down and like changed the car to play this song.
yeah,
It was like that. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so wi" and then I saw something that, like, made me really know it was my mom, and then, like, I sent this song to her best friend, and I'm like, "This thing is happening," and she's like, "Yeah," she's like, "That's totally your mom will love that song," and the thing is, like, my mom was so she had to have things her way.
yeah,
She, like, had things her way, right? And so it was like, oh my God. And so, oh my God, I was so emotional. But it was like, it was such a weird way that like this song like wound up coming on the car stereo. It
yeah,
was like a series of, I don't know, I can't describe it, but all I know is that song came on and it was like, oh my God, Mom, like, how in the heck are you doing this? And so it was just so wild.
was it?
And yeah, I'll never forget that. Like, and thank you for helping me even to remember. But like,
Yeah,
it's like these little moments that like happen and you're like, "Oh, I don't wanna forget that." I
yeah,
don't wanna forget that moment, and so I really am wanting to remember to write these things that happen so that I remember and I can collect these memories of not just what happened when she was alive, but
yeah,
all these things that happen since then, and to make it into a, I don't know, an article or a book or um, something creative to keep that
yeah,
creative. Oh, thank you, Tanya. And oh, it was his song. Oh my God. Oh, and yeah, just wild how just to be able to relish those beautiful synchronicities that are like love taps from them. And I don't know how long my mom's going to be doing these things for me. Like
sure.
there may be there may be a time that she says, "Okay, Tina, you're
Yeah, that's what
good."
Angel did. She said, "I'm not gonna come around as much." So, would you like to do a
So,
meditation? Would you like to start some of the art? We have, you
yeah.
know so what do you feel called to do?
Um, okay. Well, do you want me to do the meditation?
I can do it whatever you'd like. I can get us started. I can do a chakra one. as we're going through. We can bring
Okay.
in some of the holy fire energy here. So, all right, and we'll get that
Yeah.
started, and then you can channel for the collective or whoever you choose. All right, my beautiful friends. So,
Okay,
a
cool.
moment here if you are
Let
seated.
me give me the thumbs up whenever you're ready.
Okay, you'll hit it. We'll hit it when we hit the crown here. So, all right. So we're gonna root our feet down. If you're sitting in a chair, we're creating this proper seat here. You can place your hands on your heart since our this is dealing with grief. Or if you feel, you can place those hands palms up to receiving here. Invitation to close your eyes. And as we build from the feet up here, begin to create a long spine here. Lengthen the four sides of the torso and bring those shoulders up and back into this present moment. We want the energy in the now. So we don't want to look like little croissants, right? Or Quasimodos. We want to bring it back in. So with our invitation today of the color of grief here, we're going to bring awareness of if it is of consent to you to bring in the holy fire energy. The holy fire energy is a very loving and compassionate energy, bringing in through the light of grace. So maybe through your grief, you might look back in your journey and maybe have regrets, or I should have spent more time, or did this or did that. But no things unfolded exactly the way they're supposed to be. So we're going to invite this light of energy, this energy to come through our crown here as I'm inviting it to flow through and around you. And there's no need if you have no background in Reiki, it's just simply accepting and being open to the energy as we're breathing in through the nose and gently out the mouth. Now, with the invitation of imagining this golden light coming down right down to the base of the spine here. This is our root chakra here. And this is our foundation, our support. And we're asking that this loving light energy come and surround it and cradle you, letting you know that you are safe and you are supported. You know, losing a parent, especially, can rock your foundation, you know, especially if you've lost both your parents. And we're asking this energy to come and flow and help this energy if it's been blocked. Maybe you're feeling fearful or unsteady or unsure. Maybe you're questioning your decisions, whatever that is. And we're inviting this energy to gently cradle it. And then as we bring our awareness up to the sacral chakra here, as we're inviting this sensation, this feeling here, this is where our chakra of joy or feeling lies here. So maybe the grief has pushed the joy aside and maybe you feel guilty, even laughing or being excited about something. And we're asking the energy to flow through there, gently cooling it, giving it support and nourishing it so that you're able to enjoy the wonderful things in life. That loved one that has crossed over would not want you to be suffering or being denied of the beautiful things that life has to offer. And as this energy continues to flow up a little bit over that belly button there to the solar plexus. Now, this is our willpower, our confidence, our inner child. And even though I have taught in many places, when I lost my sister, my confidence to teach was gone. I didn't even feel comfortable teaching in front of 5 people a yoga class. So maybe you feel you've lost your willpower, you're not motivated to do certain things, and it's taking you just a little longer. So we're asking the energy to flow right there and cradling it, helping that inner child, helping you with your confidence, helping support you, and almost as if we're lighting that match of that willpower so that you're able to move forward and get things done. You have a journey to continue on. And as we bring this awareness to our heart here, an open heart, maybe you're imagining the color green as the light shifts from a golden color to green through the heart here, helping you to open your heart a little bit. Maybe the walls have come up a little bit. Maybe you feel you can't do one more thing or love one more thing as fear of heartbreak. As we gently ask the energy to just stay a while here, We ask Archangel Raphael, Master Magician Healer, to come and help assist with anything that needs healing in the heart. And as the energy flows up through the throat here, maybe you don't have the words to articulate how you're feeling. Maybe you're too embarrassed to tell stories or share things. And we ask the energy to continue to work on that. Maybe you're not talking as positively as you possibly could. And we're asking that that energy flows right there as needed. And as we bring awareness right there to that third eye, that you see the beauty in life, that you see those things that remind you of that loved one, and you can look through the eyes of joy. She would have loved that. My mom would have thought that was amazing. My sister would have been so proud. My mom would be so excited. Well, we can bring them along on the journey. And as we bring awareness to that crown, where we have that connection, where we bridge the gap between earth and sky, let this energy continue to flow and go exactly where you need it. And as I close out this session, I ask that the Reiki energy continue for as long as you need it, whether it's 5 minutes, 2 hours, 2 weeks, or 2 months. And I ask that all of your life lessons be done with grace and ease and harm to none. And so it is. And as I disconnect, allow the energy to flow, and you just simply relax and enjoy that energy.
Suyanaya Sayaweya Salawea Saweya Shulilalea Wea Sayawesi Salawea Wea Wea a lot of little hearts and infinity symbols that came through.
Ah,
And yeah, I'll take it. Maybe I can take a picture and send it, but I can show you a lot of the colors of the rainbow were coming through.
beautiful.
And this is for the collective. It might be hard to see because of the lighting. But the words that I'm getting is infinite rebirth. Our sun is all within us, and it's like just to let that come out and shine, and that things are evolving and birthing out of what was, and to tune into the heart of your center. And like, so there's all these little hearts of like, there's like heart, and it's basically the love is infinite, and just knowing that we are infinite and we're all connected and we will all see each other again,
Yeah,
and just
beautiful.
finding that peace, just being at peace, that all is well. Yeah. Well,
Very good. When I bring in, may all of your life lessons be done with grace and ease, I bring in the affinity symbol that has grace and ease in it.
and I did two of those, two infinity symbols. We're syncing up. We're syncing up. Thank you. And yeah, but I'll take a picture because the lighting is a little. It was so funny because this one had a lot of different colors in it. It had the red for the root chakra. It had the green for the heart. It had the blue for the throat chakra. It had the yellow for the solar plexus. So it really had. The only color I didn't put in here, funny enough, was orange.
Okay. which is the feel. Yeah. There we
It's
go.
okay because
Well, I
maybe
think
we're
because I
still
think,
evolving.
yeah, you and I especially, we have the feels. Maybe that's a real strong one for us because we're empathic and we can feel things, right? That we just need to light the other ones up.
Exactly. Oh, and thank you, Tanya, for joining us. Blessings to you. But yeah, no, this is a new. I'm so grateful that we got to do this together, and yeah. So I don't know what else to say, but like,
I know.
yeah. I'm.
Yeah,
I have.
last time we met, you did that spiral shape that I told you that kept showing up in my life. And interesting enough, the house that my husband bought, it had this interesting architectural iron piece from it that had those little swirls on them. And we didn't know what it was for, other maybe than just an embellishment for it. And he took both of them down. And I mean, I wish I was a welder because both of them, they're so heavy, but they would make like a beautiful art sculpture of like a butterfly, like wings. I mean, but that pattern's in there that you drew. And I came across it as I was emptying the garage out, loading up my Jeep for my new space. And I'm like, I have to show her these pieces. It's a shame we don't live closer because you could probably make something out of it.
I love that. Well, it's so funny because I put those swirlies in here.
They're
I just
everywhere.
don't know that you can really see.
Yeah, they're like in
They're
my pill
everywhere.
yeah, my pillows, designs in the house. It has followed me my whole life. I would doodle. I remember in like second grade, I would just doodle that on things and I would write it on like, in the days when we wrote letters, right? I would
Oh,
write it
I
on.
love it. Remember those paper letters? Oh my
Yeah,
god. Oh
and
my
then we
god.
had them.
I found,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I found all these letters that I wrote to my mom.
Aw.
They were so cute. I was like, oh my god. I used to write letters to my mom. Oh
Yeah, and we
gosh,
just send
yeah. So I
postcards, when we were off in college and send the letters and
yeah,
things, and yeah, yeah, but those used to
my
be
mom
I remember,
saved
like,
them
the little
all.
fortune tellers out of the paper. We used to call them cootie catchers,
Yeah.
and I would put the swirls on those. So someone had said, "If you were
Um,
doing that as a child, you're probably a witch as an adult."
I love that.
We're
Wow.
in
I
a
love
era.
how many like it brought us together because like honestly, like I mean
And the reason
it's
it
just
was
so wild.
interesting when I came across you, what stood out is that you went to Carnegie Mellon, and that's where my sister had worked for a number of years. She was the web designer there, and she got her master's there, and then she eventually moved to onto UPMC where she worked until she passed. But it was that connection that I'm like, oh, I'm going to reach out to her to be on the podcast.
I love that. Oh my god. And it's so funny because I started reaching out to the alumni people at Carnegie Mellon about like maybe doing some kind of art event
Yeah.
there. And they're like, yeah, just send us an email. And then I'm like, and I haven't done it. And so it's funny though, like even you mentioning that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so wild that
Yeah.
she worked there. Like what a small world. Like
That's what I
I
mean, it
forgot
was like
about that part.
yeah, yeah, she loved working there, and then she had the opportunity to go to UPMC. Yeah, yeah,
What is
yeah.
UPMC?
That's a hospital, so it, like, owns so much in Pittsburgh, so it's, probably the closest thing you can do.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my, I remember those things though, those like
Yeah, the
things
little,
in the fortune, like
fortune teller, yeah. Pick the color red,
yeah,
RED,
and
ride to 1, 2, you know.
oh
It'll tell
wow.
you if you get married, how many kids you have.
Oh my God. But do you remember also like when you would open it up? Yeah, and you would write things in it and then you would open it up,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
was it those?
Yeah, it was those kind, and you would open
Oh,
it up,
wow.
and it would tell you, like, it would say, "Pick a color," and then you would spell out the color. Then you open it, or it was like a number or something, and then pick a color, pick a number, and then it'd open it up, and it would tell you
Oh,
fortune.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just have like a squirrel sometimes. I just like saw something over there. I'm like,
Yeah, when
do you ever like,
you
one question? Do you ever like out, like if you're looking, okay, so sometimes I'm sitting at my desk at work and there's a window. And sometimes out of the corner of my eye, I can see just like a flash of light
Mm,
go past my window.
yeah.
What do you think that is?
I've had things like that
I'm just like,
happen
it's just
too.
so,
Yeah. It's probably an orb or an angel. I've had that too. I'll have things, and I'll see lights or shadows or things like that as well. Yeah.
it's just like, whoa, like, and it would happen so fast,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like a
Well,
ball,
I
like
mean, you
a
think of it
thing of
too
light
that
just went by my window.
yeah, I mean, as you do these modalities, Reiki, you're painting, your, like, artistic muscle grows, right? Your intuitive muscle grows as that loved one's passing over, and you're having these constant conversations a day. So you're bridging that gap. And then in time, your other gifts are going to be made aware. And you're like, oh my goodness. So the more you're doing even these type of things, and we're talking about it, we're connecting, and we're seeing synchronicities, that opens it up. And of course, we're approaching Halloween. So the veil's quite thin. So the
Yeah,
veil's quite thin.
melting here. I'm like, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No worries, no worries. All right, well, it looks like we're at our hour point. Is there anything else you want to share with listeners before we sign off?
I just, encourage them to follow me, stay connected, and to follow what brings them joy and to embrace the joy because, there's always going to be something to feel all the emotions, and it's okay to feel all the things at the same time. So I recommend getting a journal and maybe even getting some art supplies and connect with me if you would like to have a session where we talk about drawing, and I do activation art sessions, and there's so much more. So
Yeah,
I'd love
yeah,
to stay in touch.
yeah. And I
And I
my
have
message
things coming.
Yeah, my message is, when grief comes either knocking on the door or smashing down your door, it's very easy to stay and wallow in that grief, but try to find something, a lifeline to kind of pull you out and find you're just right. Maybe yoga's not for you. Maybe meditation's not for you. I mean, I had to try a lot of things, right? Like that saying, you had to kiss a lot of frogs before you found Prince Charming, until I found my just right. So like yoga has always been a staple, the Reiki has, but maybe that's not for you. But find something, and then,
Oh boy.
have that passion.
Yeah, because we're still alive. So we get to do the things,
Yeah,
right? We can still enjoy our lives and
yeah,
find the joy in life, and they
yeah,
can be with us and experience that with us.
sure. Yeah,
So
and
in
don't
their
look at
own
the
kind of
necessary of timeline either, because 4 years ago when she passed, I could have never been on a live like this. Like it was just, I wasn't there, just because the confidence was knocked down, right? The willpower was gone, right? That inner child really needed some help. And so give yourself grace as you're going through it. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this Ready Set Reiki Live. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Amazing evening. Take care.
you. Bye.